Welcome back. I'm Shane, this is Relative Time, and today I have a double Seiko 5 unboxing for you. Now, I don't normally do unboxings, but I'm doing it here because one of the watches is the highly anticipated new Seiko 5 Field Watch, which a lot of you were interested in and asked me to take a look at, so when I found one, I ordered it. And in true Relative Time fashion, I've decided to overcomplicate things by having a multi-camera setup, including this one under here. So hopefully it doesn't take me too long to stitch all this footage together. So let's just get to it. And for me, one of the biggest problems with unboxings is just taking care of the shipping boxes. So I'll just hurry that up along. All right, so this is the watch that everyone's excited to see, but we'll save that for a second because we're gonna take a look at this one, which is kind of a classic Seiko 5. And in fact, it's actually, I would say, achieved cult status. And that is the SNKL 23. I'm going to put some gloves on just so I don't get fingerprints on everything, because I still need to do macro and close-up shots of this. And believe me, you guys catch every single smudge that's on these things. Now, as far as Seiko 5s go, this is probably the one to get. And part of that is because it has achieved some sort of cult status. And part of that was because not only does it have just a very gorgeous dial, but it just sort of disappeared and everyone thought that it had been discontinued. And then all of a sudden, I think last year, they just started popping up again. So it's one that I've been curious about just because of that, as well as just to get some good footage of it for later use. The big question for me on this one is whether or not this gorgeous dial is enough to compensate for the older movement. And that we'll see as I get to the full view. Now, in true Seiko fashion, it looks like it has kind of a cheaper bracelet. As you can see, it does have folded in links and does kind of have a milled clasp. And that's kind of what you expect with these Seiko 5s. And in some ways you can kind of expect that because they aren't very expensive. I think I found this on Lume Shot just from looking around and it was kind of an impulse buy. So for $100, I thought, why not? Very gorgeous dial. And like I said, I'll get some more close-up shots. Although that crown is just really recessed, and that's one thing I never really liked about these older Seiko 5s, as it's just kind of a pain to get on there. Although I do love that they added a black date wheel for this. But honestly, a gorgeous looking piece, and especially for $100, you can't really beat it. Anyway, let me zoom back out and we can get to the watch that most people are interested in, and that is the brand new Seiko 5 Field Watch. And you'll forgive me if I don't actually remember what the reference is. I'll pop it up on the screen. There's a lot of them and they're new. Actually, it is SRPG29. And this, I don't know if it's a K1 or J1. Waiting for these to come out, and I kept checking multiple sources online for, shops that are based overseas in Asia, but I couldn't find one. And all of a sudden I looked on eBay and there just happened to be one for a pretty decent price. So I jumped on it. And I think that was right after Dave did an unboxing of the one he got. Oh, that was really cool. That is a cool dial. A little bit of a domed crystal too. That is gorgeous, actually. Black date wheel to compensate, that's nice. Bit thick, but that's kind of what I would expect. Unsigned crown, which is also kind of what I would expect. And one of the cool things about this, and why I think people are excited about it, is just the size. I think it's like 39.5 millimeters wide. Now in the past, in fact, when I started this channel, one of the field watches I looked at was the SNK 805, I think. And that's a great watch, and especially for $60 for what it used to be. But now it's like 100, and I don't think it's really worth it. But the next step up from that is the SNZGs, and those are 42 millimeters. And for me, those are just a little bit too big, and the SNKs are just a little bit too small. So what's cool about this is that it's kind of a Goldilocks watch for a lot of people. In fact, for a while, I was trying to hunt down any good, affordable 40 millimeter field watch, and I was having a hard time finding them. They're either a little smaller or either a little bit bigger, which is one reason that I eventually wound up getting my Hamilton Khaki King. But nowadays those are a little bit more. And this, I think I paid just around $250 on eBay. So actually not bad at all. That is a gorgeous dial. And as you can see, the crown isn't screwed down, but I guess I was kind of expecting that. And if you look on the bottom of the dial, it does say made in Japan. So I guess this might be one of the J versions, if that's what they are. Really cool looking dial. Actually really nice. Now I'm not going to do the full Lume comparison test till I actually do the review, but I will throw up some Lume shots of both of these just so that you guys can have an idea what they look like. But overall, I'm really impressed for this. 250 bucks, that's not bad. But again, this is just an unboxing and I haven't really spent any time with this. And I'm not going to go through the process of sizing this just yet because I want to get some of those macro shots first before I accidentally screw something up. But you can get kind of an idea of, actually let me zoom back out. But you can get kind of an idea of what it looks like on the wrist. Really nice. Again, I'm going to wait till I can actually get all the macro footage before I wind up sizing these. But once again, you can get kind of an idea of what it looks like on the wrist. And I think this is a 37 millimeter. I'll have to double check. I'll throw up the sizes on the screen. And for those who've made it to the end, I have another little bit of a treat for you because I wound up getting another Orient Star. So let me unbox this real quick. Actually, this isn't really an unboxing because I've already opened it and looked at it. But give you guys a preview. Now I have no idea when I'm going to get around to this. Hopefully in the next few months I'll get to this, but I'm not entirely sure. And I did buy it from Tuss Watches, and kind of like I did with a few of the other Orients, they gave me a discount because they knew I was going to be reviewing it. So I guess a little bit of a plug for them. The Orient Star dress watch I reviewed before was the Orient Star Classic, and that's the one I refer to as the Cheshire. This one's been around for a bit longer, although I'm not entirely sure that this colorway's been around for that long. It's kind of a champagne with gold indices and gold hands, and it's really gorgeous. The Orient Star that usually winds up getting reviews is the black version, so I haven't seen this one around, and when Tuss Watch offered to give me a discount on it, I just kind of jumped on it. Just a really gorgeous piece. Nice and thin, nice and simple, except you do still have the power reserve at the top, which for me is always a great thing. Band is okay. Feels like a little bit better leather than what you get on the Bambinos, but it still looks like a Bambino strap, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Really gorgeous dial. It kind of reminds me of like a champagne version of the Timex Marlin. One thing about this that I really love is the hands. Just like Seiko did with the Cocktail Time, they did sort of a split polished brush section on the Delphine hands. And that's something I think everybody should do, as it makes them so much easier to see. Again, it's just a really gorgeous watch, and I'm just going to hold it up to my wrist because I haven't got all the nice macro shots of this just yet. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, and I'm going to try to get around to reviewing these as soon as I can, but I already have a number of other watches that are kind of ahead of them in the queue. I will really try to focus on getting the Seiko 5 field watch done because I know there is a lot of interest in this one. The SNKL23 has been around for a while, and I think so has the Orient Star. But again, thanks for joining me. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about these, or if you have any other suggestions for watches I should look at getting. Although I have a plenty to look at right now. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. But I'm Shane, this is Relative Time, and I'll see you next time.